All right, good evening. I'd like to call to order the Town of Farragut Board of Zoning Appeals for Wednesday, January 24, 2008. The chair recognizes it's a little past 7 p.m. It appears that we have two items on the agenda. The first is the approval of minutes for the December 27, 2017 meeting. Have we all had an opportunity to review those minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Second item on the agenda is a public hearing on a request for a special exception to expand a non-conforming use in the form of a front porch extension and screen porch addition to an existing dwelling unit at 12826 Union Road, Zone C1, 1.01 acres. Patrick Pilgrim, applicant. Mr. Pilgrim, you here? Mr. Pilgrim, good evening.
Good evening.
What we typically do is we swear in everyone who's likely to give testimony first, and then we allow the town to present, and then we allow the applicant to present. If we can have everyone rise and raise your right hand, we'll swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will present to the board is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. Can we hear from the town first, please?
Sure. This is a special exception request to expand a non-conforming residential use in a C1 general commercial zone. The property is located at 12826 Union Road. It's a little hard to see on this, but it's, well, this thing's not working. So, well, it's got the address written in it in small black print right below the red Farragut. It's that sort of square-shaped lot. The house in use predates the town. It was built in approximately 1970, and it's been consistently used as a residential dwelling unit since that time. The applicant is requesting to add a front porch and a rear porch addition to the property. The expansion of a nonconforming use is provided for in Chapter 4, Section 17 of the zoning ordinance as a special exception approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals. And that's conditioned on there being a reasonable space on the property. And in terms of the building itself, that the expansion does not compound any nonconformities. In this case, here's what they're proposing to do. They're proposing a small addition in the front, a slightly larger addition in the rear. There's ample space on the property. The additions would comply with all of the various setback requirements and lot coverage requirements. So there is a reasonable space on the property, and it is not going to create a non-conforming situation with regard to setbacks or lot coverage. From that standpoint, staff can support the request.
All right, thank you very much. Do any of the members of the board have any questions of the town's representative?
No.
All right. Mr. Pilgrim, we will certainly hear from you. If you will take the stand and introduce yourself formally, and then just tell us where you live.
My name is Pat Pilgrim. That's my wife, Penny. We live at 12826 Union Road, and we're here tonight to see if we can be approved to put our front and rear porch on.
All right. Mr. Pilgrim, I'm curious, how long have you lived at this residence?
I moved in a year ago.
All right, so you're relatively new to that structure.
Yes.
All right. And it looks like it's a rather large lot, about 1.01 acres thereabout.
Right.
And my understanding from this drawing is there's an existing 3-foot front porch that you're looking to expand. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you're looking to expand that by how much?
5 foot.
5 feet. So making it 8 feet total.
Right.
And as far as the back, it looks like there's an existing 3 foot in the back porch, or 8 foot. I'm sorry. Is there eight feet in the back
8
currently?
feet in the back.
You want to add 8 feet more?
8 feet more.
All right. And so that would still leave, from the drawing that I have as Exhibit B, 101 feet, if extended, from the front porch to Union Road. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And 85 feet from the back of the rear porch, if extended, to your back lot line. Is that
Right.
correct? All right. What's behind you? Do you have another residential dwelling?
No, the church is behind us. Yes. There's wood, a little bit of woods in the church.
All right. And for what purpose are you expanding your porches? Just aesthetic, or?
Because the front one's only about 3 foot, and if you put a chair on it, you can't hardly get by. So, and, we like to sit on the front porch, and the back is gonna be just a closed-in, screen porch.
All right. Any of the board members have any questions of Mr. Pilgrim?
No.
Mr. Pilgrim, you're aware that they're going to improve Union Road
I am.
sometime in the future?
I am,
Okay.
yes.
And you don't think that'll affect your property any at all?
Yeah, it's probably gonna affect it some.
Okay.
Can I speak on that? Do you know if they're gonna upgrade anything down the road, like gas lines or anything, when they do this?
It's hard to say. It's really, so far, all that's been done has been surveyed and core drilled. So
Right.
I think they have done some design work on it, but I've not looked at, have you looked at anything, Bart? It's not come
I
to
don't
us
know
yet
off the
as
top of my
far as
Gas
that
or
part of it.
sewer, yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
But typically when they do, they will, yeah.
right.
Why did you ask that question?
Well, I would like to have gas to my property, but,
Okay.
I don't think it's out there. Is the only reason I asked.
I think it's on the opposite side of the road
Is it
because you got Saddle
Saddlebrook?
Middle Ridge.
Saddle
Yeah,
Ridge right there.
Yeah. But, we were talking about gas and sewer, but sewer is like out of means because they estimated it cost me $14,000 to hook up to it where it's located.
You have septic service now.
I do.
Is that in the front yard or rear yard?
It's on the side.
Side? Okay. West side or the east side?
What is that? West? East? East
okay.
side.
Okay. That's all for me.
Go ahead.
One thing I didn't mention is we have I've spoken with the property owner and suggested that they might want to consider pursuing rezoning in the future so that if they want to do any additional expansions, they could, just do that as a matter of right as opposed to have to come through this special exception type process. There are several lots in that area that front only on Union Road that are being used for residential purposes, and so that's a way to, that some of those property owners might want to look at, and that the staff might look at in the future as well.
Yes.
Go ahead.
That's a good idea because your property tax would probably change considerably by going to residential as opposed to commercial.
And my understanding is that it's currently zoned commercial. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
But it's grandfathered in because it's been residential.
Yeah.
All right. And you bought it with the purpose of maintaining the residential use. Is that correct?
Well, all the paperwork that I got when I bought it says residential, R1. When I came to get a building permit to do this is when we found out it's C1. See, I had no idea that it was commercial.
Title search should have found that, but it didn't, huh?
Should have told you.
Yes.
Yeah,
that-
the paperwork, my paperwork says R1. Everything
That whole
on it.
area is really zone C1 between Kingston Pike and Union Road. And, there are some lots that front only on Union Road that are zoned commercial. And, I'm sure the thought at the time was maybe the property would be aggregated together and developed, but that hasn't happened to date. And, this is a little burdensome on the residential property owners if they don't want to have to come through a special exception type process every time they want to make some expansion to their non-conforming.
Well, a number of years ago, when I was quite young, Knox County went through there. They went all the way down Kingston Pike and zoned everything C1 all the way to the Loudoun County line, and it has remained that way. There's quite a few pieces of property that back up to it that's that way. So just want to make sure you're aware of that.
Sure, yeah.
And again, that commentary, this board doesn't have the authority to require you to apply to rezone your property or anything else like that, but it's just something that we're throwing out there that if you intend to use it as residential, you may benefit you in the future to make an application to have it rezoned.
Okay.
Because at some point in time, they'll come through to, they'll come through for an easement. And, of course, they typically go whichever direction the land lays, or the path of least resistance when they do that. And so you'll be involved with that whenever that happens. And I think you'd probably be better served if you were residential.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
I don't have any further questions. Members of the board, I'd just like to read from Exhibit C, Section B, Nonconforming Uses, Subsection 2, Expansion Permitted as Special Exception. Nonconforming uses may expand provided the board determines that there is reasonable space on the property owned and occupied by the nonconforming user prior to the zoning designation which rendered the use nonconforming. Property acquired after the zoning designation which renders the use nonconforming cannot be utilized as reasonable space. Existing commercial and industrial uses within or adjoining residential districts may expand only if they provide a buffer strip along those property lines which adjoin private residentially zoned property. And really, that's the first part of that is the only germane part to what we have before us. But given that, I would certainly say that my inclination is to consider approving it. If someone would like to so make it, or if we have any further discussion, that's fine too.
No discussion on my end.
No more discussion.
And I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries with none opposed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Hey,
Mr.
thank
Pillar.
you.
You're welcome.
Good luck with it there.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.